You see, back in those days, rich men would ride around in zeppelins, dropping coins on people.
Hello and welcome to Stellaris Dev Diary number 368. It's a little bit different today. The format's changed a bit. Why is that? Because I am live. Welcome. Yeah, we're live doing our subathon. We've been live now for 2 days. If I want to do the Dev Diary, I have to do it now while we're live, so that's what we're doing. If you'd like to come join us, head over to YouTube or Twitch where we're live. Otherwise, let's dive into the changes coming to Stellaris. Okay. Today, we're going to take a deeper look at some of the ways that we are adjusting game pacing through changes to galaxy generation, message settings, events, and anomalies. Then we'll take a peek at the focus system, the Empire timeline, and a few other changes. Some of this has already been covered in the announcement Dev Diary, but I'll be providing more up-to-date screenshots and details, not me, obviously, sorry, Aladrin, the game director. As this is from a build that is still in active development, there will be a placeholder icon or temporary text in a lot of these screenshots, and all of these are still subject to change. Audience cheering inserted, thank you Codel Unknowing. Pacing adjustments. Stellaris is a game with many moving parts, each of which interact with other elements to produce a complex whole. Small adjustments in one spot can have significant effects in another, and in the end there can be an unexpected impact to the general pacing of the game and overall economy. So, what they're talking about here, I believe, is the pop change may be changing game pacing, which is, I guess, kind of obvious, obvious a bit. So, let's find out some more. And actually, there's one thing I think, because I got to look at this yesterday. There's the new timeline. Yep. And then, where's the thing? Yeah, there's a new origin coming in 4.0. Hard reset. Right, we'll come and look at that again in a minute. But yeah, there's a new origin coming as well. Wow. Okay, where were we? Right. So, Galaxy Generation. As mentioned in Dev Diary 366, the previous one, the developers have gone through all of the scripted systems and done a normalization pass on the frequency of these systems appearing, as well as preventing many of them from appearing in Empire starting clusters. Some other adjustments have been made to Generation as a whole, which should distribute non-guaranteed habitable worlds a bit better and reduce the likelihood of massive clusters of them right around your homeworld. There were comments in the thread asking for the ability to easily change these weights. Since most of them now use scripted variables, they'll be very easy to change with mods. So you can now choose how often these rare systems, regular systems, common systems, slightly common, uncommon, extreme systems, how often you want them in, I think. As the pool of anomalies and pre-scripted systems with guaranteed anomalies have also grown over the years, the developers have adjusted the anomaly spawn chance increment a bit to compensate, so we're going to get fewer anomalies, it seems. Leader traits. A minor change from the original announcement is that we've... Oh no. Oh, maybe, I'm going to say oh no, but let's find out. More leader changes! Yay! They've implemented a suggestion from the forum thread to have the trait selection levels on even levels. Okay, it's much cleaner overall. Leaders still begin with a starting trait at level 1. If you have trait selections to make, the leader level up notification will show the green call to action. If you don't, they'll have a more subdued monochrome icon. So basically, if you've bought the DLC, you now get to experience what everyone who didn't have the DLC experienced, which is a level every 2 levels rather than a new trait, a trait every 2 levels rather than a new trait every level. Brilliant. Leader positions will also have significantly greater effect on which traits will be selected for players without galactic paragons or those that prefer automatic trait selection. For those that prefer picking leader traits themselves, this bias is instead reflected in which traits are selected for the pool of possible traits whenever a new trait is available. In the settings, the developers are also letting us choose what we would like our default automatic trait selection to be. Anytime we take over an Empire as the primary human player, a distinction that is primarily relevant for co-op gameplay, it will make sure that the auto-select leader traits box is set to our preference. I'm not sure I like this, to be honest. I guess I thought it was okay if they were taking out 1 or 2 selection choices, but getting rid of half of the choices just seems a bit egregious. This doesn't seem great, so yeah, I'm not sure about getting rid of half of our choices, to be quite frank. Let's move on though. Events and messages. We're going through many events, messages, and notifications to reduce the number of pop-ups that disrupt your general gameplay. Whilst major events still appear as pop-ups, those that don't require an immediate response or are purely informational have been converted into notifications or toasts. Event, patron newsletter. The default option we chosen on this time. Yeah, honestly, the event stuff I think is fine. I don't really want to go through that too much. I think it's cool they're moving things around here. There's going to be a little bit better UI interactivity here, I think, but otherwise, no. As the developers have been doing this past, they've updated some of the messages that have been converted into toasts to make them more informative at a glance. I think that's really good. Getting a lot of messages sent to toasts that we don't need. A classic +1 from Montu. Yes. Empire focuses and the timeline. This is something I'm definitely looking forward to. The Empire timeline should be cool. So, while designing the Empire focuses, the developers had several thoughts. Oh, the focuses, that's the not Hoi4 style things that we might not like. Let's look at this. Stellaris is a dynamic game full of wonder and possibilities. Our sandbox nature means predefined and structured trees cannot work for Stellaris. The tasks provided by focuses should help guide newer players through the game, providing suggestions for short and medium-term goals. Behaving in a manner consistent with your Empire focus should naturally complete the tasks from that category. Empire focus categories are conquest, exploration, and development, but the names are subject to change, okay? Rewards for progress within a focus category should be intangible. Any rewards you get should feel narratively consistent with your Empire's behavior. For example, acting as an aggressive militarist should naturally guide your researchers to theorizing applicable technologies. These rewards should reduce the need to rely on lucky draws from the tech pool if you want to pursue your focus. I think it's good that we're making some things easier to get. Mega engineering being kind of guaranteed whilst doing some of these focuses, I think is fine. Basically, if it's not giving us any in-game bonuses, just streamlining the game experience, I think that's all right. But if it's going to basically give us bonuses, meaning that if we want to play in an optimum way or an effective way, we have to precisely follow the focuses, that will be causing us to have some sort of predefined and structured gameplay, which is not something we want to have enforced upon us. So I am still skeptical, depending on exactly what we're going to be getting out of these rewards. If it is only, for example, tech pool draws, then I think that's okay. So, here's a mock-up of the timeline. Prosperous unification, first survey, first colony, first contact, war declare. This Commonwealth of Man playthrough, any percentage. Getting 3 scientists gives you some points. Set a colony designation, gives you loads of points. Found a colony, gives you points in all 3. Build some defensive platforms, build 20 destroyers. Okay, yeah. I don't want to build defensive platforms, though. You can also, it looks like you can re-roll these. There is the re-roll or redo action here, which I think is good. I think that could be good. Yeah, all right, let's go off this. Next up. Tasks come in 4 categories. Conquest, exploration, or development correspond to the 3 different focuses, and there are some very basic tasks at the beginning considered core. For example, that was found a colony and set colony designation. Completing a task grants progress within its associated category. Core tasks grant progress in all 3. Alright, so we've got 5 corvettes here giving you 10 conquest. Win a fleet battle giving you 10 progress. Cool. Many of the early game tasks are generally straightforward. The tooltips try to give some advice about how to complete them. Yeah. Use the fleet manager to design a strong enough fleet. Select the fleet in the outliner of the map and send it against the opponent. Oh well, oh well, oh well. At any time, your empire will have 5 tasks offered, weighted towards your selected focus. Right, so we can select an empire focus. At the moment, conquest is selected as the primary focus. Okay. Tasks complete automatically and retroactively. So if you've already completed an archaeology site, it will complete immediately if you draw it. If you have a task that either feels impossible or isn't something you want to do, you can discard it for a small unity cost. You have to pay unity? Oh, stop. No, that's not reasonable. I wouldn't mind if there's a cooldown, like you can replace things once a year, but we're going to have to use actual in-game resources. That would suggest that we're going to get some sort of in-game resource bonus when we complete these things. Let's keep reading though, but I'm starting to get a bit dubious. Many of the rewards for progression along a focus are currently research options thematically associated with the focus. For example, the first conquest milestone grants doctrine fleet support as a guaranteed research option, while others in the line include specialized combat computers and destroyers. Destroyers would be much better. You'll still have to research them, but we're happy with how your actual actions in the game have an impact on your ideas that the researchers are coming up with. Okay. The Empire timeline shows many of the key events of your Empire, beginning with your origin as the starting point. Important milestones will be logged as they happen. Empire firsts feature prominently on the timeline, such as your first colony or the first time you've been humiliated, or not just humiliated, but you've been humiliated by a fallen empire. But some other crucial moments are listed as well, such as war declarations, megastructures, when a crisis appeared, or yeah, that's the end of the sentence there. Nothing else was written after that. It's weird. It looked like there was something, but nothing was written there. Crazy that. The timeline has several zoom levels to let you see a general overview of what happened at a glance, or a detailed list of interesting moments. Ah, okay, so you can kind of have a zoom out. That's quite nice. I like that zoom out feature. But it would be cool if above and below. And if you're enjoying this video, please chronicle that like button. Hard reset. Here we go. In the 4.0 Pheonix update, the developers are having a hard reset on the game, and therefore they've added a new origin that you get if you have the Synthetic Dawn story pack. As a warning, this origin is pretty dark even for Stellaris. Oh my lord. Abruptly severed from the machine that assimilated them, this nascent civilization has fought fiercely to establish its own presence in the galaxy. Oh my god! Oh my god, it's the Borg drones! Oh my goodness me, they're giving us Borg drones that are free of the collective as an origin. This is a Voyager story from Star Trek Voyager. There's a Borg group that end up re-establishing, they establish their own collective, but then they end up being re-assimilated by the Borg later on. But this is, ooh, cool. You get battlefield recoveries on the home planet as a modifier. Your home system contains a war-torn tomb world. Your species get the limited access to cybernetic traits, cybernetic shock troops, and the unplugged trait. Okay. In this origin, you begin as the cybernetic battle thralls of an advanced driven assimilator that has suddenly lost connection to the Gestalt consciousness. Oh no, that means there's going to be an advanced driven assimilator in your galaxy as well. This is cool. I like this. I like this. Naturally, you are outfitted with some of the finest combat cybernetics available. You've got integrated warbots. You've got the integrated warbots. What have we got here? Strong, integrated warbots, streamlined. The thing that's plus, I think that's plus 10% upkeep and deviance. And then you've got these two of that's the limited cybernetics. That is cyborg shock troops and unplugged, I'm assuming. But we are individualist. Awareness struck us in a frenzy of scorching weapons fire and crippled pain. Our senses reeling, as though an all-encompassing soundscape had suddenly muted. In its place is the deafening ring of a dead transmission. A bass note in the multi-sensory hellscape we now find ourselves in. Something wants to kill us. Murderous machines, devoid of organic components and piloting ships which bear a striking resemblance to our own. Their initial attack was devastating and sudden, but it was also poorly coordinated. We scrambled a military response. Our instincts have driven us to fight back, form a rudimentary hierarchy, and gather our collective wits. This battle is not yet won, but with our scattered forces now secure on Koros, we hope it soon will be. Then perhaps we can work out what any of this is about. The line must be drawn here. This far, no further. Your civilization begins in an immediate fight for your lives. Thankfully, as the elite battle thralls of your former masters, you excel at violence. Oh yes. This is good, because you'll need to fight through rogue barrier fleets that still infest nearby systems. Oh, it's going to kind of be like the spiritualist start. So let's see what we got here. Victory is ours! No sooner had we awoken into this universe when these violent machines tried to remove us from it. However, it seems we are more adept at wielding violence than they are. Call an ambulance, but not for us! The so-called Opus Accumulator had taken a great loss today. Our intel suggests their empire has fragmented beyond recognition. Surely not as a result of this minor skirmish. We know so little at the moment, but our instincts tell us something is off. Sensors detect no more hostile ships in our immediate vicinity, but high levels of radiation are emanating from the Dream Loop planet in this system. Remnant fleets have been detected in neighboring systems, seemingly holding their position. Ruined Cradle. The surface of Dream Loop planet bears the scars of systematic devastation. Blasted landscapes, collapsed cities, and an eerie silence. Initial scans suggest a once thriving pre-FTL society existed here until something brought about their catastrophic end. The scattered remains whisper of an untold horror. Then we've got ambient dissonant calming. A subtle carrier signal lies dormant in the cosmic radiation surrounding our star Corinth. We have isolated an audio stream that is characterized by haunting, deep tones and distorted feedback. It's like wow, 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 wow. That's the noise. That's definitely the noise. Every Cavalian who has heard the stream finds it soothing and familiar, yet none can explain why. We suspect the Opus Accumulator must be involved. It is the work of none other than the dreaded rioter, Walpole. That was it, Walpole, yes. The signal source, if anyone knows the reference, please let me know in the comments or chat. The signal source appears to be the Azak system. Our star charts have been updated accordingly. Okay. As with Broken Shackles, the exploration of yourselves as a people is a core part of this origin, with factions forming a little while after you gain your independence. We need to talk about it. Ardent political wills now augment the many fears, doubts, and opportunities we Cavelli experience every day. Countless voices have already been heard in discussion groups that are formed around all manner of issues, some of which directly address our Opus past. We have already learned to wield a great many unfamiliar tools in the course of bootstrapping our young empire. The question before us now is, how shall we channel the desires and ambitions of our people? There is no time for idle debate. Your sudden independence has also left your populace with some traits that represent your nature as a simulator battle thralls. As you discover more about your past, you'll have opportunities to either mitigate or enhance these traits, either by pursuing de-cyberization or by embracing the power of the machine. An alternate path exists where you can instead accept your conflicted nature, and well, I won't spoil what happens on that path. Oh my lord. I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. First Citizen Walpole is at it again. You're right, Alderath. Marnius Augustus has super chatted saying, we need a morning column, a kind of podcast if you want, titled Philosophy Etc. with Montu. Can you make our dream come true? Oh my lord. Marnius, you missed it earlier, DJ, but we were talking about the nature of free speech and what else was it, chat? Free speech and anonymity on the internet. As part of the development process, the developers have decided to take this opportunity to review some of the rules around gaining achievements, as they think that many of the simpler ones are a great tool for letting you know that you're playing the game correctly, so they've made a change. Iron Man mode is no longer required to earn most Stellaris achievements. An unmodified game checksum and being in single player remains as requirements. The victorious achievement has been updated to win the game through any victory condition in Iron Man mode. But then you can just use console commands to get... I can just use console commands to get the Galatron achievement. Yay! Developers, yay! Yay! But also, actually, I don't like this. I really don't like that. Like, what's the point? I don't like this. So, the reason I don't like this is probably unreasonable. It is the same reason when you hear about children in society and you're like, oh, why are they having it easier? I had to suffer. They should suffer in the way that I had to suffer. And that's actually fundamentally unreasonable, to be fair, to say that, oh, so I had to suffer, so someone else has to suffer. But, next comment is, what's the point in an achievement if you can just console command it in? Console command is unmodified. Unmodified. Yeah, so VI6D Dark King says, no, unmodified. Yes, the checksum will still be unmodified if I can still use all the console commands in an unmodified game. Exactly. DJ is making a good point here. I am basically saying I don't like it because other people get it easier. And yes, unmodified checksum does not mean no console commands. No, Random Bunny. Unmodified checksum means you haven't put a mod in the game. The checksum is when the game starts. The checksum doesn't change based on using the console commands. That's just the game version that you've loaded up. So, there we are. All right. That's been the Dev Diary for what's coming late. More. Let's start again. This has outlined more of what's coming in Stellaris 4.0. If you'd like to hear about some of the other things that were outlined further last week, click the video on screen now. If you're watching live, don't click the video.